You know that little voice in your head? The one that's your biggest critic, your harshest judge, and the world champion of second-guessing? For years, I just thought of it as me, but that's a terrible way to live. So I've decided to give mine a name, Bartholomew. And let me tell you, Bartholomew is an absolute jerk. Sound familiar? That's the war I'm talking about. It's not a war against deadlines or traffic, or that one person who always takes the last donut. It's the war we fight every single day, inside our own minds. A war against ourselves. And it is the most exhausting, pointless, and tragic battle you will ever fight. Because here's the reality, and this is something that should stop you in your tracks. The average person gets about 4,000 weeks on this planet. 4,000 weeks. If you're 30, you've already used up over 1,500 of them. Gone. If you visualize your life as 80 little circles on a page, one for each year, how many would you have to cross off right now? When you see what's left, the question becomes terrifyingly clear. How many of those remaining precious weeks are you willing to spend in a state of civil war, letting Bartholomew and his army of doubts win? Today, that ends. We're not just fighting back, we're getting smarter. We are drafting and signing a permanent peace treaty with ourselves. Here's how. Your inner critic is like the world's worst roommate. It eats your leftover joy for breakfast. It never pays rent for the massive space it occupies in your head, and it leaves a trail of self-doubt all over your ambitions. To make peace, you first have to understand its tactics. This inner saboteur, this Bartholomew, has 3 signature moves. It's crucial to recognize them. This is its favorite weapon. It whispers, "Don't start until it's perfect. Don't launch the website until every single pixel is flawless. Don't share your art until you're a master." But this is a lie. It's secret code for never start. Perfectionism is just fear in a fancy suit. It convinces you that the only 2 options are flawless masterpiece or utter failure, with no room for learning, growth, or the messy but beautiful process of just trying. Your critic is a master of this. It forces you to scroll through other people's carefully curated highlight reels, their promotions, their perfect vacations, their happy families, and it turns to you and whispers, "See? Why isn't your life like that? You're behind, you're not doing enough." It's a rigged game. It compares their public victories and polished outcomes to your private struggles and messy process, and then uses that unfair comparison as evidence in the case against you. This is when your brain becomes a movie studio that only produces disaster films starring you. About to go on a date? Bartholomew has already scripted 5 ways it could end in humiliation. Thinking of asking for a raise? He's produced a feature-length film where you not only get rejected, but are laughed out of the office. It rehearses every worst-case scenario in stunning 4K, ensuring you're too paralyzed by anxiety to ever take the risk. The first step to peace is to stop taking strategic advice from this certified buffoon. You can't win a war against yourself through brute force. You can only choose to stop fighting. Victory isn't about destroying the critic. It's about making it irrelevant. It's about demoting Bartholomew from commander-in-chief to a cranky old man muttering in the corner. Here are the 3 non-negotiable articles in our peace accord. The next time Bartholomew pipes up with a criticism, do something radical. Don't fight it. Don't argue. Just listen. Listen to how utterly, profoundly ridiculous the demand is. You have to recognize the sheer absurdity. You wouldn't let a random stranger on the street talk to you that way, so why do you let a voice in your own head get away with it? When you can see the criticism for the over-the-top drama that it is, you can laugh at it. And laughter is the sound of your power returning. You listen, you laugh, and then you disengage. You just carry on with what you were doing. Your brain is a suggestion box, not a command center. Just because a thought appears doesn't mean it's true, and it certainly doesn't mean you have to act on it. This is where you practice the art of polite refusal. The technique is simple. You acknowledge the thought, thank it for its input, and then you consciously pivot. When Bartholomew says, "You're not qualified for that job," don't even bother applying. You calmly respond, "Thank you for the input, Bartholomew, but I'm going to let them be the judge of that. What's the worst that can happen? I don't get it? Big deal." When he says, "You already skipped the gym yesterday. Your fitness goals are ruined," Might as well eat this entire pint of ice cream. You respond, "Thanks for the concern, but I'm thinking of this as a journey, not a pass/fail test. I'm going for a walk instead." This isn't about lying to yourself with toxic positivity. It's about exercising your right to choose which thoughts you build your life around. It's a quiet rebellion. It is you reclaiming the driver's seat of your own mind. A life isn't transformed in one giant heroic battle. It's transformed in 1,000 tiny, almost unnoticeable moments of peace. The moment you chose to hit publish, despite the fear. The moment you spoke up in a meeting. The moment you looked in the mirror and didn't immediately find a flaw. The moment you rested, without feeling guilty about it. These are your small ceasefires. And they are everything. Think of it like compound interest for the soul. Each tiny act of self-alliance, of choosing peace over war, is a deposit. At first, it doesn't seem like much, but over time, those deposits compound, building a powerful foundation of self-trust and resilience. You are literally rewiring your brain to make peace your default setting. I want you to take a second and actually imagine. Imagine what you could do with all the energy you currently spend fighting yourself. Imagine the sheer mental real estate that would be freed up. Imagine the focus you could bring to your work. The creativity that would flow if it wasn't being strangled by self-doubt. Imagine the presence, the ability to actually be where you are, truly listening to your partner, laughing with your kids, or savoring a meal, instead of being trapped in your head refereeing a pointless debate. That's not a fantasy. That's what's on the other side of this war. It's a life where you are your own ally. A life where that inner voice goes from being a tyrannical critic to a helpful coach, or at the very least, just quiet. A life where you can finally be comfortable in the silence, because you've learned to enjoy your own company. Because life is terrifyingly, beautifully, and wonderfully short. It is far too short to spend another precious day, another precious week, at war with the one person you are guaranteed to be with for the entire journey, yourself. So my peace treaty is signed. Now it's your turn. My challenge to you is this. What's the most ridiculous thing your inner critic has told you this week? Let's expose these saboteurs for the fools they are. Drop it in the comments below, and let's have a good laugh together. It's step 1 in declaring your independence. Now go sign your treaty.